Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that, let's be honest, gets every single one of us at some point: the habit of pushing things off until tomorrow. It all starts with these three little words: I'll do it tomorrow. On the surface, they seem totally harmless, right? But the truth is, these words can be incredibly dangerous, quietly wrecking our biggest goals and our brightest dreams. You see, this isn't just about being lazy. Procrastination is way more than that. It's a destructive habit, a sweet poison that gives you temporary relief but is slowly, silently killing your potential. And yeah, it's been a problem for centuries, but in our crazy, distraction-filled world, it feels like it's gotten a whole lot worse. Okay, so let's really get into it. Why is this tomorrow trap so powerful? Why is it so easy to fall into, and what are we actually losing when we do?
This is kind of a funny modern take on an old proverb, but it hits a little too close to home, doesn't it? We might laugh, but there's a real, uncomfortable truth in there. We have become absolute experts at justifying why we should wait.
And the consequences of that delay, they are very, very real. I mean, these aren't just hypotheticals. Take the story of a brilliant student in India studying for the super competitive UPSC exam. His potential was completely wasted, not because he quit, but because his tomorrow just never showed up. Even in ancient myths, the lesson is exactly the same. The all-powerful Ravana admitted his entire downfall came from putting off the one single thing he knew he should have done. So, what is actually going on inside our heads when we make that choice to wait? Let's take a look at the psychology behind it all. Now, this right here is fascinating because it breaks down the entire battle that's happening inside your brain. See, our minds are fundamentally wired to want pleasure right now. A friend calls about a party, a new movie is out, the reward is immediate, so your brain just screams, "Do it now!" But tasks like studying or working out or planning for the future, well, the payoff for those is way, way down the road. So your brain just goes, we can do that tomorrow. But here's the thing. Procrastination isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of problem. It wears different masks. So as we go through these four common types, I want you to ask yourself, which one of these sounds a little too familiar? All right, first up, we have the perfectionist. You might know this person. Heck, you might be this person. They are completely trapped by the need for everything to be perfect before they can even start. They'll wait for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect setup. They spend hours, days, even weeks just planning because they're terrified of making a mistake or having someone criticize their work. But all that deep thinking leads to weak decisions because their real enemy isn't imperfection. It's the overthinking that stops them from doing anything at all. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that an honest, imperfect start is always, always more valuable than a perfect plan that never actually happens. You just have to start. Okay, next up, let's talk about the overconfident. This is the person who truly believes they have all the time in the world. You know the type. Don't worry, I got this. I work best under pressure. The funny thing is, their talent often becomes their biggest weakness. They're so sure they can pull it off at the last second that they completely underestimate how much time and effort it's actually going to take. And we all know the story of the rabbit and the tortoise, right? Overconfidence almost always leads to underperformance. This next procrastinator is probably the most common one in our world today. They actually get started on their work, but they just can't seem to stay focused for more than a couple of minutes. A notification buzzes on their phone. A new feed needs to be scrolled. They tell themselves they're multitasking, but we all know that's not a real thing. That quick check of social media spirals into an hour of lost time, and they're left with a pile of unfinished work and that awful, sinking feeling of guilt. They forget that focus isn't some talent you're born with. It is a discipline you have to build. And finally, we have the fearful. This is the person who is just completely paralyzed by the fear of failure, so much so that they can't even bring themselves to try. Their mind is just a storm of what-ifs. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? But what they don't get is that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone. I mean, look at these names. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times. Michael Jordan famously said he missed over 9,000 shots. And that is precisely why he succeeded. Every great success story is built on a mountain of failures. The real failure isn't trying and failing, it's being too scared to even try. Okay, so we've broken down the problem, we've looked at the different ways it shows up. Now for the most important part. What are we going to do about it? Let's get into a real concrete action plan. Here it is. your entire toolkit, 7 simple strategies you can start using today. Let's just touch on a couple. Number 2, the 5-minute rule. This is huge. Just commit to doing something for 5 minutes. That's it. Often, just starting is the hardest part. And how about number 7? Forgive yourself. Seriously, beating yourself up over what you didn't do yesterday changes nothing. Let go of the guilt. Start fresh right now. Today is a brand new day.
So after all of this, what's the ultimate takeaway? If you walk away remembering just one thing, what should it be? Please remember this. Procrastination is not who you are. You are not a procrastinator. You just have a habit of procrastinating. And because it's just a habit, it can be unlearned and it can be replaced. The single most powerful weapon against all that fear and laziness is one simple thing: action.
If you know deep down that you want to become the best version of yourself, that you have a story inside you that's worth telling, well, then the time for waiting is over. The time for tomorrow has passed.
Because the future isn't won by the person who plans to act tomorrow. It's won by the person who takes action today, right now.